Okay, bet. I think I'm on. Am I live? Oh no, not that. Sonic. Okay. Am I live? Are we good? Can people hear me now? Let's see. Can people hear me? Can people hear me? Okay. Okay. Cool. Let me get this music going. If you guys are joined in, ask me questions about training. Damn, that shit is loud, bro. Okay. So I'm trying to fix all the audio stuff. While I'm getting this all set up, ask me questions about training. Oh, jeez. This needs to get way quieter. Okay. There we go. Tough. Okay. Okay, where we at? We get some time for people to come in. Let me just send a message to the Discord and get some people in here, because I don't know how notifications look. Okay, let's get a message in the Discord, and then ping the Discord. Then we can start answering questions. Let me just add everybody real quick. At everyone, I am live on YouTube let me get the link, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, anyone can ask questions and literally ask anything. Go crazy. I don't know if it's not showing me live on YouTube yet though. That's kind of odd. Watching the live right now. I'm trying to see if I'm popping up on live yet. Okay, there he goes. All right, let me send this over to the link, and then we can get going. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, anyone can ask questions. We can get straight to it now. While people start to flood in here. Flood might not be the right word. All right. Okay. What is the stretch shortening cycle, and how do I train it? Stretch shortening cycle is pretty much how you store and release energy. You have like the Achilles tendon and the patella tendon, right? Which is like right under the calf, and then kind of like the kneecap. And those are like your main store and release energy sources when it comes to sprinting and jumping, right? So you have to be able to absorb a lot of force to continue momentum and use elastic energy, which is like more powerful way than using muscle, right? As far as a lot of skinny guys who are really athletic. So is this music too loud? Because it's kind of distracting me. I'm sorry. So to improve stuff like that, it's just really plyometrics. So it's always gonna be the best way. Always gonna be the best way is plyometrics. You really can't train the stretch shortening cycle if ground contacts are over, what is it, like 0.20 or 0.15. So if your foot's on the ground for longer than like 0.15 seconds, you literally can't train the stretch shortening cycle. So that's like the main way. And like high eccentric stuff is really good too. Your mic's just fine. Okay, cool. Do I train it? Okay. I play soccer and I'm pretty quick using your plyo workouts, but I've been losing gains in my arms. Any tips on biceps? You could do compound movements. So you could do like 4x4 or 5x5 of pull-ups, but you could do chin-ups. And then as you get strong and you could do like 5 reps easily, you could do weighted chin-ups. So that's a compound movement that also gets your lats, but also is like one of the best movements for your biceps. And then also your triceps are a huge thing. So you're playing soccer, which means you're doing a lot of cardio. So you need to be lifting to improve lean body mass. So to improve triceps, you would do stuff like incline bench press, regular bench press, and stuff like dips. There's like the best stuff for athletes. Just compound movements are going to improve strength and performance at the same time. I've trained my Achilles and helped so much, especially with my speed, but I've never trained patellar tendon. How do you train it? Anything that's knee dominant, right? I don't have any videos because I just don't feel like looking it up. But anything that's like knee dominant. So think of like doing a pogo, like jump rope pogo, but instead you're actually sinking into your joints and you're actually trying to go for max height. That's knee dominant. That's going to train the Achilles tendon, but also the patella tendon. How often should you train speed endurance versus acceleration versus top speed? So in the Speed Academy and in Just Sprint or the Speed Academy Bodyweight, We do acceleration once, top speed once, and speed endurance once a week each. So it'd be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What plyos help with literally any plyometric? Like, I know you want like specific exercises, but there's no like better exercise. Anything the plyometric, the best stuff is always the stuff with momentum. So instead of doing jump rope, you want to do skips. Instead of doing, stationary sprint drills, you want to do momentum-based sprint drills, bounding, max effort sprints, dunk sessions, stuff like that will always be the best stuff. What if I just ignore plyometrics and did sprints and resistance sprints? Sprinting is a plyometric. It's the like highest. So there's like different grades of plyometrics. So there's like level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Sprinting is a level 4 plyometric, which is like the highest intensity, highest potency. How do you get general athleticism where it seems like you just pick up any sport, any movement? A lot of like movement exploration. Like, first of all, you have to be athletic, right? You have to be fast. You have to be able to jump. You have to be able to decelerate. Also change direction. So that's like the big four is speed, vertical jump, deceleration, and change of direction. And honestly, like they all kind of go together. You can't really improve one without improving the other four. But that's the core four for any sport, right? There is nothing more complicated than improving speed, vertical jump, and change direction. And then from there, it's all about movement. So if you start to notice, like let's say you're good at basketball, every like intensive basketball footwork, like let's just say a crossover, is the same type of crossover you do in soccer, same type of crossover you do in football, same thing you would do even in track in your acceleration sprint. Everything transfers over, but you have to explore those movements and explore your bag in your sport for it to transfer over to other sports. So like if you learn the crossover in basketball and you're actually really good at it, like AI type style, you're probably going to be really good at crossing people up or juking somebody out in football and soccer, right? So you have to really expand your movement bag in the sport you care about the most, and you'll be surprised how easy it is to transfer over in terms of movement. How do I train upper body like an athlete? Always compound lifts, right? So you're going to do your bench press, your compound row, your pull up, your shoulder press, whether it's dumbbells or barbell. Don't waste a lot of time on isolation exercises. If you want to do like a compound movement for your biceps and triceps, you could do chin ups or pull ups, and then also dips. I run 11.80. What can I do outside the track to get better? I don't want to overtrain, but I still want to outwork my competition. Stretch, mobility, nutrition. In terms of like improving when you're a little bit on the slower end, like 11.8, not to disrespect you, it's just the truth, right? It's all about like effective practice, right? You can try to worry about everything else, but if you don't know how to train correctly, like you don't have a good foundational routine workout program, you're just not going to improve. It's really hard when you're on the slower end and maybe you don't have the best genetics in the world. So you really have to dial in like what is the most optimal workout I can do to improve my speed and make sure I'm doing it at least 2 to 3 times a week, right? How often should I go to the gym? I'm 14. I play soccer and go 4 days times a week right now. 2 upper body speed and 2 plyometrics lower body. Is that okay? Yeah, no, that actually sounds pretty good. As long as you're doing good, good actual workouts, and it sounds not too bad. What is the best exercise for ankle stiffness and exercises to do before track season is about to start? There's like 1,000 exercises I can name. The best thing I would say is go to my Instagram profile and go get the free workout from the Speed Academy. Anyone here, if you just don't know how to do a workout, you don't understand programming exercises, just go do the free workout. Literally, you just put your email in and you download my app for free and just hop on the workout. I've never done core or ab work. Should I start doing it for my athleticism? No, you really don't need to. It's a little bit more overrated. I think there is some cool core movements you could be doing, but you're good. Do you have any hip flexor exercises or movements when I'm going to walking to running to a pass? In terms of hip flexors, I think hip flexors is a little bit overrated. You train it a lot just from sprinting alone. Because how sprinting works in every sport is that there's a gait cycle, right? Like a biomechanic based gait cycle. So people think that you have to lift your knee up, like up and forward in like a diagonal direction. I'm using the wrong hand. Up and forward like this. When actually you're going in a bicycle. You're going in a bicycle when you're sprinting, which means the only way for your knee to lift up is by producing force down. That has nothing to do with your hip flexor, right? So you producing more force is like glutes, quads, hamstrings, hip extensors, right? But that's what's going to get your knee to go up. So I think a lot of people want better, stronger hip flexors to improve sprint speed, but it's actually kind of vice versa. You need stronger glutes and hip extensors to improve like knee height and stuff like that, right? Um, how many level 4 plyometrics are there? Oh, wait. Sorry. I jumped ahead really badly. I stopped for a month now after a long summer season in my seasonal flag football league. What's the best way to ease myself back into explosive power back? Just start with like low sets. Like even if you're doing like sprints and jumps, just do like 1 or 2 sets and then call it a day. Even if you gotta start off at like 70%, that's not bad either, right? Stuff like that. Really, really, really start slow. Oh, that song goes fucking hard, dude. Holy shit. Should I do resistance sprints times 4 days a week? No. All my programs are always going to be 1 to 2 sprint days a week. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's a lot of sprinting. Like some coaches don't even sprint more than once a week. Like good coaches. Some really good coaches barely sprint. You'd be surprised how much less sprinting you should be doing. Does body weight affect how fast you can run? Yeah, I wouldn't say body weight, but your body fat percentage affects a lot. You want to be 15% or under, in my opinion. How to improve leg stiffness? Do you mean like knee stiffness or ankle stiffness? How many level 4 plyometrics are there? There's a lot, Like you can do. 1 second. So there's a lot of stuff. So there's stuff like 5v5 basketball, 5v5 soccer, any 5v5 like skirmish, right? Anything that's skirmish, 7v7, 5v5, def jumps, bounding, sprinting, dunk sessions, anything that think high reward, high risk, right? Like things where you would see it on like an Instagram video and be like, oh, my joints are fucked if I do that, right? Like when you see those type of comments, those are probably the exercises that are a little bit on the intense side. Anything that looks intense on the joints, right? Sorry, I was telling my girlfriend good night. So yeah, he's not lagging or good. Okay, what did I do during my deload week? In the Speed Academy, we do stuff like we either do extensive plyometrics. So we have 3 options. Extensive plyometrics, you go skirmish and play games, right? So like let's say you're a soccer player, go play soccer like every day for like 30 minutes to an hour. Or basketball, go play 5v5 pickup for like an hour every day for that deload week. Or we just cut back by 50%. How many yards should resistance sprints be? Usually about under 30 yards. 30 yards or under. You can even do, if you know what you're doing, you can go up to 40. It's pretty potent though. Trap bar deadlifts or barbell squats. What's the best compound lower body exercise? Single leg squat. So like the Bulgarian split squat, probably the best one. What if my knee hurts while doing lunges, holds, sits? Well, your knee is supposed to be stressed. It just depends on like the type of pain. If it's like excruciating pain, then yeah, like you have to cut back. But you like if you're doing isometrics to improve knee pain, you have to stress it for it to get stronger. So that's gonna happen. You said your glutes, quads, and all that are for soccer explosiveness. So is the squat, deadlift, and calf raise? Yeah, like in most of my programs, I'll do a squat variation, a hinge variation, and a calf raise variation as my like compound lifts for the lower body, right? I don't really go too complicated. I am into velocity based training, so that's like the little more advanced tech stuff. I'll do like some speed squats, some Olympic lift variations, but at the end of the day, like the foundational stuff every athlete should be doing is a squat, a hinge, and a calf raise. Then you're probably gonna get most of the gains you need, right? Are bounds worth doing? And if so, what do they improve my acceleration? They mainly improve top speed, but they're also really good for acceleration. And bounds are worth doing. We get to progress because you can do them wrong very easily and hurt yourself. Knee stiffness. My knee bends upon landing, and I think it's affecting my landing under my center of mass. Yeah, knee stiffness is, well, it starts off with stability because you don't want knee stiffness in a sense, right? The word stiffness is just misused by so many coaches, so it's really confusing. But you want stability in the knee, and then you want isometric strength, right? Which some people might call stiffness. It's a really complicated subject, honestly. So isometric strength, like if you can load up 200 to 100 pounds on your patellar tendon in like a split squat 90-degree position or 65-degree position, and you can hold that for 30 seconds to 1 minute, you're extremely fucking strong, right? Your patellar tendon can handle a lot of load. And then if you can also do stuff like deft landings and deft jumps or anything very intensive on the patellar tendon, like hard deceleration based exercises, you're going to improve the patellar tendon in terms of knee stiffness, right? Like that ability to absorb force. You have to be able to absorb force isometrically and eccentrically. So, like I said, the best stuff, I wouldn't jump right into depth drop landings, but if you can, I would do depth drop landings and like isometric holds. I have 7 months until my spring ball. Which football in the spring? I split training in 3 months. First 3 months is going to strengthen size. I wouldn't do that. I don't believe in splitting training in terms of like blocks. Like, oh, we build strength for like half the year and then we do plyometrics. It should always be integrated year round. You should be able to build plyometrics. You should be able to do plyometrics and build strength at the same time year round and train speed year round. It should never be like, I don't sprint for 3 months and then I just hop into it once I have enough strength. That's not a thing. That's all just made up by old coaches. All those strength standards you hear are all made up. Like in the Speed Academy, we're doing plyometrics year round. We're doing sprinting year round, strength training year round with good volume so you don't hurt yourself. You don't ever just take a couple months off. Why does my knee go inward when doing single leg squats? You just need to lighten the weight and go slower eccentrics and focus on pushing your knee over your pinky toe. You're probably just dropping too fast or the weight's too heavy. You're just not ready for it. So would you recommend doing split squats as your first strength exercise as your main? Yeah, I would. And then, yeah. So how many strength exercises? Like I said, so if I'm doing 2 lower body exercises or 2 lower body sessions or like plyometric based sessions in the Speed Academy, Monday and Friday, let's say, right? We're going to do 1 squat variation for strength, 1 hinge variation for strength, and then 1 calf raise. And that'll usually get you around 8 to 10 sets a week, right? I have so many damn questions. Just go crazy. You're good. How can I practice my sport on my own effectively? Should I be spending less time practicing on my own or more time scrimmaging? It depends on the person, right? So like, there's like a cool concept I've been thinking about, and this kind of applies to everything. It applies to video games very well, but it's also cool for any sport, anything you do, is when you're improving at something, there's theory and there's polish, right? So your low end is how polished you are, right? Like your hot days and your low days, you have a high day, which is like your potential, right? And then your low days is your polish, right? Like how polished are you even on a bad day, right? And for any sport or any video game you're trying to play, whatever you're trying to improve at, you have to have a good mix of improving polish or improving theory, which is like the potential. Like let's say, for example, in soccer, it'd be like a new footwork, your speed potential, your strength potential, like improve potential. But you also have to be able to polish up your bad days, right? You polish up to make sure that even on a bad day, you're doing good, which that would be polish, right? And these are 2 different types of training in terms of skill, right? So like theory practice would be like, let me watch the best players in the world and try to imitate what they're doing to learn something new in my bag. Or let me learn the game more to a farther extent. But polish would be like, hey, I have this crossover, I have this left-right, and I need to get it better. That way, even on a bad day, it's always clean. I never get the ball stripped from me, right? Or I need to improve my pass at this angle so I don't get the ball taken from me. So when you have to ask like, hey, should I be spending time by myself? Should I be spending time with other people? Think about what you're trying to do. Like, do you have a low potential, right? On your hot days, are you just not that good? Right? Then maybe you should be spending time by yourself, improving your bag. But are you actually having all this potential, but you just can't get it in game? Like your brain isn't connected with the skill you have. Like you have a lot of skill, but it's just not connecting. Then you should be doing skirmish more, right? So I think that's like a cool framework you could do for any sport, any video game you want to do. And obviously there's like a little more nuance to it. You have to really dig into it and try to figure it out. But I would look at it like that, right? I currently run 10.84 without much training. I like to run 10.3. Hop on the Speed Academy and DM me on Instagram, and we could talk about it more. Best exercise for explosiveness in your opinion? I think any skirmish, right? So 5v5 pickup, 7v7 football, anything like that is the best exercise. If you just didn't want to train, you want to do one exercise, that'd be the number one. Or sprinting. Do you know anything about the best recovery practice as a D1 athlete? DM me if you're a Division 1 athlete. DM me on Instagram. So the issue is if your coaches are giving you too hard of training where you can't recover, that's a coach issue. You need to speak to your coach because there is no recovery practices, right? And it's the most boring shit you've heard from everyone. Like the best recovery practices are going to be happy, don't be on your phone all day, sleep a lot, eat a lot of carbs and a lot of protein, and eat in a calorie surplus when you're training hard. And it's boring, and there is no answer. It's not saunas, it's not ice baths, it's not red light therapy. There legitimately is no answer, right? It's not stretching. It's not spending 20, 50, 60 minutes on mobility and stretching and flexibility. It's just literally not. There's no research to back any of it. It's always going to be split 50-50, or just 2 research papers that show this one thing works and then 20 that shows it doesn't. At the end of the day, it's all about training volume and the actual work you're doing. If your coach is just fucking you in the ass, wow, that was a very vulgar way to explain it. If your coach is just overtraining you like crazy, it's literally just training and being able to sleep. That's probably the 2 big stones. Like if you're just not sleeping and eating, and you're training like crazy, like your coach is just giving you too much training volume, you legitimately will never recover, right? So, yeah. 10.84 without much training, bro won the genetic lottery. I wouldn't say that. He probably still worked hard in other ways, right? Like he might say he doesn't train, but like let's say it's basketball, right? Like if you played basketball since you were 6, right? And you didn't train, but you just played pickup, you're probably gonna be extremely athletic once you're 20 or you're 18. Same thing for track. Like if you just played football as a kid at the age of 6 and you just kept playing, you're gonna have really good acceleration and really good sprint speed. But it might not feel like training because you're just playing the game. But I think people kind of don't know how to like differentiate that, right? Does lean upper body mass hurt or help your explosiveness? Probably help, but like also putting on body mass, as long as it's lean body mass, it won't hurt you, right? What does just Jamari mean? That's actually a really good question. My first name is Justin. My middle name is Jamari. I'm actually getting my name changed just because of family stuff, right? I want to represent my mom's side of my family more often. Not more often. I want to represent my mom's side of my family, so I am getting my name changed actually. But my first name is Justin. My middle name is Jamari. When I first started my page, it was called Unlimited Athletes because I was trying to hide my name. And I still kind of like, in a sense, I'm still old school in a sense. Like I don't want everyone to know all my business. So I still don't, you guys don't actually know my name. Like you don't know my last name. So you would never really be able to find any like very personal information about me. But yeah, my name's just Justin and Jamari, right? And I didn't want to tell people my name was Justin. So like, I guess that's kind of why I said just Jamari, right? Because I just wanted people to kind of a little bit more like vagueness there. So I was like, just Jamari. Like what does just mean? It's Justin. Only like 20 people are in here, so like no one's really gonna know what my actual name is. But yeah, it's not really that deep, anyways. Big tip for injury prevention, because when I run, my hip flexors start to ache. Usually, all right. So if your hip flexors are in pain, usually look on the opposite side of your body, right? So wherever's in pain, if it's your shoulder, look at your posture, right? If it's your back, look at your core, right? Like flip sides. So if it's your hip flexors, it's probably your glutes are probably pretty weak. Like there's a lot of reasons. There's so much more nuance to the conversation, but like check out your glutes first and your hamstrings and see if your pelvis is in a good position and like fix those things. Look up Conor Harris, fix those things, right? I'm 14. How do I know if I have enough strength? How do I know what I need? There is no such thing as enough strength. There are guys who can sprint 9.9 seconds in a 100 meter. Only 100 people in the world can do that. 53 people in the world right now that have ever ran 9.9 or sub 10. And there's like 10 plus people who've never lived a day in their life. Like we have completely been misleaded with like the fact that we have to lift. I still do lifting, but there is no like, let me get this strength number. It just doesn't exist. It's completely false. It's all made up. There's no research to back it up, right? So don't worry about it. Just build strength and eat good, right? Do it slowly. 3 to 4 sets, 1 to 2 times a week. Good form. Don't try to push for 1 rep max like you see on TikToks with terrible form. Don't go on drugs like all these dumbass people on TikTok. Just take your time. Can I do plyometrics 5 days a week? And can I gain weight? I'm trying to get to 193 without losing speed. Like what's your purpose for gaining weight and doing plyometrics 5 times a week? And like what type of plyometrics, right? Well, sprinting 2 times a week gets you faster. Like not resistance sprints, a few sets, 20 to 40 yards. No, sprinting literally, I know this doesn't sound true. I've spoken to the best speed trainers in the entire world. I've spoken to people like Les Spellman. I've spoken to the Canadian Olympic sprint coach. These guys are sprinting 1 to 2 times per week, almost never more than 2 times a week. The best coaches in the world. I've spoken to 5 to 10 of the best coaches in the entire world. People who don't do social media have 50 times better results than all these coaches you think you know, like all these influencers who act like they're coaches, they all sprint 1 to 2 times a week. Most of the time it's 1 because people are fast. You don't need that much sprinting. You'd be surprised how little volume you really should be doing. But it needs to be good volume. It's all about intensity when it comes to sprinting and auto-regulation. Oh, shit. I just, like, missed my water. Keep dropping questions, though. Anyone, drop questions. Holy shit. I, like, didn't see any questions, and then, like, 50 questions just dropped. Is fascia training BS? Yes. Everything you do trains the fascia. There is no, like, let me specifically train the fascia. That's not true. That's just false. Everything you do, just walking trains your fascia. Jumping trains your fascia. Sprinting trains your fascia. There is no fascia-specific training. Does stiff hips help? Wait, what? Stiff hips, legs. I'm sorry, bro. Your grammar just threw me off. Does stiff hips, legs, and calf? Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to say. Hurt my speed? What is stiff, though? Like, what does that mean? Because if you're stiff, you're probably just sitting too much. What's your opinion on sprint parachutes? The resistance curve is inconsistent, so, like, I wouldn't suggest it. All right. I've been training a lot for top speed. What would have the biggest transfer for 400 meter? Not what training is the best for 400 meter. The biggest transfer will start doing speed endurance work. So, like, in the Speed Academy bodyweight, or some people call it just sprint, that program, I do 1 speed endurance session a week, but it is, like, it's pretty intense, right? And that's all you really need. People try to do lactic acid work. That's not the same thing as speed endurance. Speed endurance is very, very particular, right? Lactic acid, we're not doing, like, low rest, high reps. Like, we're doing very specific type of work. I think that's the highest transfer. You can look up, I think it's called a 23-second drill. I call it the 21-second drill, but some people call it 23, 24-second drill. That's probably, like, the best thing to have, like, huge transfer to 400 with as little work as possible. I've always been really strong but not athletic. Do you have any plyos that work on change of direction? Do you have anything to fix that? In terms of strong and not athletic, it's all about rate of force development and elasticity, right? So you need extensive plyometrics, right? So something like jump rope every day or skipping every day, right, for 3 to 5 minutes. And then you want to do high rate of force development stuff, so resisted jumps and sprints, right? And then cut back on lifting and make it higher velocity. So, like, instead of full range of motion deep squats, do speed half squats for like 2 to 3 months, right? And in terms of change direction, the best change of direction work you're going to get is, like, the actual sport. So, like, if you're trying to improve change direction in, like, basketball, right, you need to go do crossovers on somebody and play 1v1. There is good drills, but they're too hard to explain without showing a video, so I'm not going to bother. How do I know when I've peaked with my vertical jump and can't gain anymore? I'm 27 and have been training vertical for 2.5 years. My vert is 36 inches. I mean, as you get better, it's going to slow down. You don't really have, like, a necessarily peak. You're probably not going to peak until you actually hit, like, 42, 44. That's when you're actually have to start questioning it. You don't jump high enough to actually question it. It's just going to take a little bit longer. If you feel like you're at a plateau, though, hop on just jump. I break so many plateaus with just jump. If you want to improve your speed, what should you be doing? Wait, what? You want to improve your speed? What should your reps be for exercises? I'm guessing 1 to 6. It depends on the distance. I would say about 120 to 150 meters in total of, like, total distance, right? So, like, example, 15 times 10 meters. I wouldn't do that, but, like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? How to rehab from runner's knee. Start off with isometrics, then slow eccentrics, then fast eccentrics. Not in one workout, like over a period of time. Are big calves good for anything? I don't know. What's the fastest time you ever coached someone to? 10.36 in 100 meter laser time. Big calves, and not just one person, 10.36. I also did a guy who did 10.5 FAT laser time. Same thing. Big calves, like, good for looks, I guess. What the fuck are Olympic sprinters doing for the rest of the week if they can only train their sport 1 time a week? Do they really spend 6 days sleeping and resting? Well, that's the thing. Like, you can train qualities without just sprinting, right? So let's say they're sprinting 1 time a week. They can still do strength work, power development, movement work, technique work, which is like light sprinting, right? Like 60%, not max ever sprinting. They can still do that throughout the week, right? Like someone like Les Spellman, he's like probably the best trainer in California, right? In terms of like speed work, he trains with a lot of NFL guys only. He only trains like pros and stuff like that, right? He does max effort sprinting 2 times a week, but then he has 6-day template. So it's like tempo work, strength work, power work. He'll do some like plyometrics and things like that. A lot of like low level stuff to improve technique, but then you'll have like that 1 or 2 hard days where it's like all we're doing is timing. I'm not saying anything to you. I'm putting you on the 1080 on the laser time, and we're just gonna like just go and go. High intensity, high competition, stuff like that, right? How does anterior pelvic tilt impact force production? It depends. Some people need it, some people don't. Like if you're a little bit shorter, anterior pelvic tilt actually might improve your force production, right? I have extremely high calf insertions. I've never seen someone with higher calf insertions than me. I've heard longer Achilles for sprinting. Is it possible to have too high? No. You probably have a really good set of genetics in terms of like your Achilles tendon. You might just not be training correctly if you feel like it's not, your genetics aren't transferring to how fast you should be, right? How do I improve coordination in what sport? Justin 1v1 me? Pull up. I'm in Ames. Only in basketball, though. I'm not that good at football or soccer. I'm actually pretty good at football, but not soccer. I'm trying to gain weight for football. I play running back, and I'm trying to have better acceleration, deceleration. What should I do? Go into a 300 to 500 calorie surplus, right? Improve relative strength and sprint often. After I started getting 8 hours of sleep, I saw improvement in my time by 0.2 in the 40. It's huge, bro. Sleeping under 8 hours. So once you get 7 hours of sleep, anything under 8 hours increases injury risk by over 50%. That's a fact by research. And it's even worse as you keep going like down and down and down. It gets to the point where you're like at 70% injury rate or injury risk just because you didn't sleep. What's the best way to run lighter with less load on the knees? Improve ankle stiffness. Best exercises for faster 40-yard dash. Man, there's so much to it. You know, go check out the free workout from the Speed Academy in my bio. Instagram bio or my link tree anywhere. It's completely free. Don't trip, dude. I walked on a JUCO team at 25 years old and ran 10.84 training before that. 25 is old as hell to people. 25 is not old. But that's lit. Good shit. What are some mental cues for top end speed? Should I be leaning forward or flex? I don't believe in mental cues like almost at all. You can't sprint fast and think. It's impossible. You can't jump high and think. You have to train positions through function, which is like improving the actual body, right? The structure of the body, and through like positional type drills, right? So like if I wanted to teach you how to get like your chest over your hips, right? So like a little bit like kind of push your heart forward. I wouldn't tell you, hey, push your chest forward so you can have like that. I know what you're trying to look for, like leaning forward a little bit more during top end. To hit that position, I wouldn't tell you to do that. I would have you run wickets, right? And that's automatically going to force you to into that position. And then that will transfer way more than me telling you something. I play soccer every day. Do I need to do extensive plyo separately? Not really. Soccer is like an extensive plyo in itself. Since I'm pretty young, would it hurt me to if I do some hypertrophy work to build some muscle? I wouldn't say it would hurt, but strength work since you're young would improve hypertrophy a lot. I run 11.8 and I'm a junior in high school. Do you think it's possible to get 10.5 on the time in high school? I'm on your Speed Academy. I see an improvement by only doing 2 months. I'll say I don't like giving out numbers and saying what you're going to do because that's just disingenuous. Not everyone's the same. But the biggest transformation I've done in 8 months was 11.2 laser time to 10.5 laser time. And honestly, it really was 10.3. Like, he really did run 10.3 in 8 months, but it's possible. Like, you can't make that type of jump. I wouldn't say you'll get 10.5 this year, but if you really are dialed in and for 2 good years, you can go sub 11 for sure. That guy also had really good genetics, the guy I worked with. So it's different for everybody. I don't like giving out numbers. Dude, this song is going hard, bro. How to increase rate of force development? What are the best plyos for speed? I feel like you've asked me this a couple times already. How do I wind down best for sleep? Because I go to bed in my mind thinking a lot. I kind of struggle with this too. I think whatever things you're struggling with in terms of like your mental, like for me, I think a lot about social media. Dude, this song is disgusting, dude. Pause. What is this song? Oh my god. Wait, what is this? Sonic and Knuckles. Final boss. Oh, I'm gonna look that up later. This shit, like, it is just so tough. In terms of thinking a lot, like, I also struggle with thinking a lot when I sleep, right? I need to turn this shit the fuck up. Holy shit. And I think the best thing that's improved, like, that aspect is, like, whatever you're struggling with, get it taken care of earlier in the day, right? If you're overthinking about, like, for me, it's social media. Like, I work a lot for social media, and, like, I need to knock that out early in the day. I need to take care of my business earlier in the day so I can, de-stress, right? And then even stuff like watching videos when you go to sleep, like, I wouldn't suggest getting into that habit because I don't know if it's healthy or not. But, like, that stuff can kind of put your body into an autopilot where you can clear your brain and just go to bed, right? But there's so much more to it. Also, going on walks, being more alone time off your phone is key too. Stuff like that. How to get effortless into sprinting, improve the Achilles tendon so you can be more elastic. If you had to choose one exercise for someone to jump higher, what would it be? 5v5 basketball or low rim dunks. Those are the two exercises. One or the other. How often should I stretch? None of my programs we stretch at all. We don't do any stretching. No static stretching at all. I've explained it so many times. I'm kind of like, I don't feel like going into it. It probably is a little misleading without explaining it. A few different running backs on my team, and some of them can just break tackles and juke defenders out. What are the best ability to get over? Wait, what gives them the ability to over others who can't? What makes them shifty? I mean, I don't know. I would have to see them, right? It's all, like, relative. It's athleticism training is just accumulation of so many things, right? Like, they have a lot of stiffness in the lateral ankle. Their lateral glute is strong, right? Which also lateral glute has high transfer over to acceleration, so they have great acceleration. Deceleration is about absorbing force of patella tendon, so there's exercises for that. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's, like, thousands of things that go into that, right? So it's like, it's hard for me just to say exercises and stuff like that. There's so much to it. What do you think ruins people's speed the most? I think overtraining, training too much. Is Speed Academy good for football players? Yes. The Speed Academy is good for pretty much any type of athlete besides any sport besides, I'd say, like, hockey. Even hockey's, like, really, it's good. It's good stuff. I don't know. I made it so well-rounded that it improves overall athleticism, strength, upper body strength, lower body strength, raw speed, raw vertical jump. Like, I've never been so proud of myself for making a 12-month dense program like I did. I just think it's amazing. Like, I'm trying to find somebody who's not good for it. Maybe bodybuilders. So, like, if you don't really want to be an athlete, don't get on the program. But if you want to be an athlete, like, hop on the Speed Academy. It doesn't matter the sport. There's also in-season programs for your sport, right? So if you're in-season, you're fine. If you're strong but still can't jump high, what should be the focusing on my workout and my sessions? Should I still incorporate strength work? The strength work should be faster velocity and then, like, higher rate of force development stuff. So resist jumps, resist sprints, ankle dominant plyometrics, stuff with momentum. You need to do that way more often and cut back on the strength. Should be only doing 1 to 2 compound strength movements that are, like, higher velocity in your, like, lower body sessions, right? Should I start in 3-point or standing on top end speed days? Probably standing. Does it have to be hard during isometrics? It's gonna feel like shit if you're doing them right. Like, if you're doing yielding isometrics, they're probably gonna feel like complete dog shit. Could you do a workout review of Cristiano Ronaldo? I'm gonna do that, actually. I kind of want to do that soon. I want to start doing other sports on my channel. I don't want to just do track because I think track is just kind of like, everyone talks about track. It's kind of like, it's hard to say the same stuff all the time. Like, there's other sports have so much more nuance to them. Track is really simple. Like, in the nicest way possible, I have track to, like, a fucking T. Like, I know everything about improving at track. So I just want to, like, talk about other sports. I think there's more to talk about, right? Okay, there's a lot of questions I actually skipped up, so I kind of like missing a bunch. Okay. Should I wait? I'm the running back. You say sprint often, but you also sprint often. What do you mean? Do resistance sprints 2 times a week, or you do just sprint 2 times a week? I'm sorry, just in general, like your overall like max effort sprinting should be 1 to 2 times a week. I don't like resistance sprints. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's high intensity max effort, it needs to be 1 to 2 times a week. You could do one day where it's resisted, one day where it's not. You could do both resisted, both not resisted. It just needs to be 1 to 2 times a week. What's your opinion on training hip flexors, like attaching weight to? I'm not a big hip flexor guy. I don't really believe it helps you that much. I think it's completely misunderstood by so many athletes because coaches are dumb. And there's so many influencers that act like they're coaches and they promote all these hip flexor drills that are complete bullshit. Can you dunk year round or does it fall off when you're not focusing on it? Me personally, I can't dunk year round. There's like, I mean, I was able to dunk year round last year, but I had the crazy ankle injury that I had where I fractured my ankle over the summer, like right before the summer started. So like I'm like I have like 2 more weeks in my rehab. Like I've been rehabbing since May. I know that sounds crazy. Like May, June, I've been rehabbing. So like if I went up for a dunk right now, I probably could dunk it and I probably would be able to maintain that year round. But you're probably asking in general, right? You're probably not asking about me. Most people can maintain dunking year round once you have the skill down. But if you got like a random one where you're really excited and you weren't practicing a lot, you're probably not going to be able to maintain it. So you have to practice the technique a lot and eventually it'll be ingrained into your body. What's the fastest 100-meter time you ever ran? I never ran 100, so I don't know. Did you have good genetics? No. I have pretty bad genetics. I ran long distance for a long time, right? I picked up sprinting when I was like a senior, but COVID happened, so I never got to run a track meet. But I took my 40 from like 5.2 to 4.53 FAT in, oh my God, what was it, like probably 6 months, like 4 to 6 months around that time frame. And that was with years and years. Like I went from like 7th or 6th grade doing long distance all the way until I was 18. So what is that? I went from like 12 years old to 18 years old of only doing long distance. And my whole entire family's fat. So I just have bad genetics in general. I still made myself a good athlete, but then obviously I'm just a great coach. So it doesn't really matter what I can do. I have some of the best results out there. So it kind of just speaks for themselves. But I definitely didn't have the best genetics though. I was more built to be like, if I like went back and my parents actually care about sports and they like actually put me in a sport I should have been a soccer player or they should have got me into baseball, but they made me do long distance cross country. Like, I don't know. My parents are crazy. My mom's crazy. Also, can I do multiple extensive exercises a day? Just if you're doing like extensive like pogos and jump rope and stuff like that, it just needs to be a total of 3 to 5 minutes, right? You could build up to 10 to 15, but you don't want to do the off rip. Don't even try doing the off rip. I've been sprinting 1 to 2 times a week, doing flying tens with 30 to 40 meter buildups to increase my max speed, but I've been stagnating, getting 0.1 slower the past 3 sessions or so. So I help. You just have to make sure your sessions are good, right? It doesn't mean your volume's good, your intensity's good, the plyometrics you're doing are good, the strength work you're doing. Just hop on the free workout from the Speed Academy, right? That's going to ensure results. And if it doesn't, then hop on the actual Speed Academy, like the full program. What is the best drill for improving sprint technique? Max effort wicket sprints really clean up a lot. And flying tens are pretty good too. What is the best drill? I haven't seen your video on static stretching, but do you ever recommend mobility drills instead of stretching to get more flexible? Honestly, like mobility is another weird one that a lot of people don't understand. The best mobility drills is strength training, right? Like full range of motion strength work, right? You're not going to be doing like hip flexor drills or like 90-90 like hip bridges and stuff like that, or windshield wipers and things like that, or fire hydrants. Like that doesn't actually do anything. The stuff that improves hip mobility and flexibility is through load, right? So you have to load full range of motion movements and you're stretching it, but it's not static. It's through a dynamic motion with load. So that's how it actually sticks. Do I need an accessible gym for the Speed Academy, or I'm willing to do the membership? I just need to know before. You could do a lot of like the stuff body weight, as long as you could do sprints on a hill or resisted sprints. That's the thing you need the most. Like you don't really need the strength work, and there's also body weight variations you could do with the strength work. But I will say, don't hop on the Speed Academy if you don't have some type of hill. I mean, you could just do the sprints body weight, but like If you can't do band resistance, sled resistance, or hill resistance, even if it's a small hill, that's like my biggest thing. But you can also, even if you don't have that, you can still do Speed Academy. How do you train the Achilles, patella tendon, and the knee for like what purpose? Track is bland sometimes, not gonna lie. That's why I started doing football. Yeah, track is interesting. Any advice on rehabbing pulled hamstrings? Once you're good to start training again, start doing a lot of like straight leg bounding at like low intensities and like max velocity lifting with good form. No, I was generally curious about you. Glad you're almost done with rehab and hope that, oh, you're asking about me? Yeah, I'll definitely be dunking soon. I think like right now I'm jumping high enough to dunk. I just haven't gone for it because I'm like too scared for my ankle. Like my ankle is just like, it's not fragile because it's gotten a lot stronger because I'm finishing up rehab, but it's still just like, for people who've had really big injuries, it's like you're still scared. There's still like a mental block right there, and I think I'm just too scared to really try. But I definitely think I could probably get off a good dunk right now. Probably off lob and probably off like 1 foot off the dribble. I couldn't do 2 foot off the dribble right now, which is like the hardest one for me. I have low weights. Can I get athletic with a bulking phase? You don't need to bulk ever, especially if you're in high school. Bulking is for dumbass TikTokers who are trying to bodybuild or do powerlifting. You are an athlete. There is no such thing as I need a bulking phase. 5.2 to 4.53 is crazy after all that slow twitch stuff. Is not gonna lie. Yeah, I have videos of both too. I haven't posted like my old videos of like how I looked when I first started sprinting, but like I was slow. I've been training and coaching people since I was 17, right? So I just know what I'm doing. I mean, the way I learned so at such a young age was that I did DoorDash, and then with DoorDash, I used all that money to pay for like consultation calls with like the best coaches in the world, people like Les and the Olympic sprint coach in Canada, right? And I just paid for calls to learn faster. Like I just asked them thousands of questions, helped with programming, gave me their programming, like the stuff they do with their top athletes, and I just learned fast. So I was able to make really good gains, and get other people good gains too. Can I make impressive speed gains in 7 months? I'll say the biggest transformation I've done for somebody or helped somebody with, because I didn't do the training for them, right? Like I've guided them, right? Would be 11.2 to 10.3. In 8 months. What is the gait cycle and how do you improve it? The gait cycle in like the most basic terms is, think of a bicycle, right? So you have this bicycle that's going like this, and to sprint faster, you need to continue to go like this by landing under a center of mass. And then if you apply enough force, your foot should cycle through and then hit a certain height and then land under a center of mass again. And to improve it, you just have to sprint a lot. But like to train like that natural cycle, you should do wicked sprints, probably would be helpful. If there's one thing you could tell yourself, training regret in general, 1 year ago, what would it be? That's a good question. I mean, one thing I would tell myself is just like be okay with taking days off. Stop trying to follow a schedule. I feel like people are so like, I need to follow my schedule. I need to do the maximal. Be okay with like doing minimal, right? I think that's like my biggest thing. And just stay committed for longer than you think, right? You're not going to see gains in 3 to 4 weeks. You're going to see gains once your body can actually adapt, which is like months, right? Is it realistic to do? I don't really know miles per hour that well, so you're going to have to do that into times. What do you consider fast in a 40-yard? I think 4.6 or an under is fast. I think 4.7 is not. It depends on your weight. Like if you're like a 200-pound guy running 4.8, you're pretty fast. But like an average, let's say track athlete, I think it's impressive to get down to 4.7 to 4.6. What's your max touch on a vertec at your peak? Should be 42. Last time I did it. I'm 5'7" and I have a really short wingspan, so it's not that impressive. Or I'm actually lying. It's like 41 point something or whatever. And currently right now I should be 30. I should be either 38 or 39 inches on a vertec. Like if I were to literally go tomorrow, I'd probably be like 38 or 39. What's your thoughts on core and back training for sprinting? You don't need a lot of back or core training because sprinting is like the best core exercise you could do for your body anyways. How do you train the Achilles and patellar tendon for football, sprinting, and athleticism? I talked about it earlier, right? A lot of like ankle dominant plyometrics, knee dominant plyometrics for like extensive times, intensive times, stuff like that. How do I learn to make my feet under my center of mass? Wicked sprints are a good way. And max velocity, like 10-meter flies are pretty good too. So how to do an isometric lunge is too much on my knee and it hurts. Start off with 60 degrees. So like 90 degrees is like thighs parallel. 60 degrees is like a quarter squat. Start off with that. And you can also start off chair assisted too, and then eventually do body weight and then eventually add load, like 10 pounds or something, right? And do like 30 seconds as a set and do like 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds. But my explosiveness was crazy the next day because my motor units and whatever. Yeah. Reduce compensations, increase motor unit recruitment, stuff like that. Yeah. So how do I improve motor units? It's going to be isometric. So like I said, like that regression I told you a little bit ago, definitely do that. Do you like Conor Harris? Yeah, I do. I actually have his biomechanics course, which was like $500. I liked it. It was a little advanced for me at the time. He talks like voodoo in that course. I'm not going to lie. It was hard, but I eventually just learned it. How often should I do plyos for speed gains? 2 to 3 times a week, intensive plyos. Extensive plyos you could do pretty much every day, honestly, once you build up to it. How to get rid of knee joint pain? I have a bump in my left knee. I don't know what to do about it. Check out my YouTube video. I have like look up Just Amari fix. Holy shit. Just Amari fix your knee pain in 3 steps. That's a really good video. What plyos for football? You're asking a lot of the same questions and it really doesn't change that much. A lot of the stuff I said before will help you for football. What's the best way to time yourself for sprinting? The most accurate way is that, yeah, I was the FAT system, but I have a video recently. It's called I think it's called like do this for instant speed gains, or like no, it's called the only 3 exercises you need for explosiveness or speed, something like that, right? It's like 2-3 weeks ago. It teaches you how to do it with your phone, and it's really, really accurate. It's free. How can I learn to catch everything I play in lacrosse, by the way? I don't know enough about lacrosse to like give good advice. I bet it's kind of annoying getting asked the same questions. You know, as long as you're helping someone, like that annoying part of it kind of goes away, you know? Like I've been getting asked the same questions for like 4 to 5 years. So I think like just learning new ways to like explain stuff that's like impactful to someone's life is cool, you know? As French contrast good transfer over to sprinting, it's just a gimmick. It's not like a training method, right? It's just a gimmick. It's like it's something you do once or twice within a program here and there, but it's not something that's like a method, like a methodology or whatever you want to call it. Like a main way to train. It's not how French contrast works. Where can I learn more about velocity-based triphasic training? I think I'm going to make a very long-form video about it, like a podcast. Should I do a podcast, bro? I've been thinking about it, like a long-form podcast where I do like Q&As and answer like more long-form topics, where I'm actually like, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like I'm actually explaining shit. I'm not just dumbing it down for like content, you know? Should I do that? Let me know. Just say yeah. How should I strengthen my shin muscles to prevent shin pain? Shin pain is 99% of the time just from doing too much volume. You just need to cut back on how much you're doing and don't spike it. Do you think I can go from 2 inches away from touching rim to dunking in 6 months? I've only been training for 2 months and I'm still in newbie gain phase. Hop on Just Jump. If you have the resources to get Just Jump, find a way to get it. You can probably do it. Especially if you're in that newbie gain phase, it's really good to start training correctly off for it. Hey, can I tell you some football? What? Can I tell you my speed and training plan? I'm not going to lie. If you made the speed and training plan, I'm probably just going to tell you that it's not that good, right? Like, respectfully. Just because a lot of people just don't know how to make speed training plans. So you'd probably be better off just looking up my free workout from the Speed Academy in my link tree, in my bio on Instagram, or in my YouTube, and you probably get better results. What exactly regression? Just scroll back. I talked about it. Also, death drops actually helped, but never done them. They would help, but if you have like excruciating pain, like you could barely sit down, like you feel pain when you're just trying to sit down, then you probably want to weigh off on depth drops. Why do I feel like I'm running in quicksand when I sprint? It's because you have weak ankles. Your ankles aren't stiff. But my knees are really strong for whatever reason. I am confused. I'm not going to lie. What are the best exercises to build fast twitch glutes? Full range of, or not full range of, any strength-based like post-train exercise is really good. Will flat feet be a big disadvantage for me? No. The fastest person in the world has flat feet. Do you know that? Usain Bolt has flat feet. You'll be okay. Podcast, yeah. Let's do it. Yes. I apologize for asking the same questions. I'm just kind of nervous. I want to be faster. All right. Honestly, don't apologize. You don't ever say anything sad or like sorry to me, or you never have to apologize to me. I don't care. But if you want to ensure speed gains, like do whatever it takes to hop on the Speed Academy or do my free workout. There is no questions. Like if you do my free workout or the Speed Academy, there is nothing to question. You legitimately will just simply get better. There is no question. I guarantee gains. I can't say how many gains, but you will get better if you follow it. So it makes everything so much more simpler. Like why not just follow a workout? Favorite thing to cook? Tostadas. I am Puerto Rican and black, so tostadas. Say someone gained 10 pounds of water weight by upping their carbs and sodium. Would that help their explosiveness and gains? Nah. Water weight, like, I get what you're trying to say, but it's not as simple as it sounds. Like, water weight isn't just direct transfer to lean body mass, right? Like, you can gain 10 pounds of water weight just by drinking water. But did you put on lean body mass by drinking water? You're not actually putting on muscle by drinking water. You're not improving strength by drinking water, right? So it's not that simple. I probably would watch some videos by Jeff Nippert to understand lean body mass a little bit better. I just rehab from an ankle fracture. Whenever I play defense for basketball, everybody goes by me and exercise to help with that. There's so much to it. Like, there's knowledge. There's being able to actually read your defender's hips, like not looking at their eyes, looking at their hips. There's, acceleration, right? Obviously, it's the most important part of that. So improving acceleration with the resisted sprints, resisted lateral sprints, stuff like that, right? But let's definitely do that podcast. Okay. What's the best way to get coordinated and control? It depends on the sport. In one of your videos, after we feel a 10% drop off in our speed, we should stop the workout. Did you mean entirely or just take a 20-minute break? No, like you stop your sprinting, right? Is Just Jump the best vertical jump program? Actually, I don't even have to tell you it's the best vertical jump program. There is a big Reddit thing about the best, like all the vertical jump programs ranked, right? So it was like a big Reddit thingy, right? I was ranked number 3. And even in like, I'll show you the screenshot of like the Reddit post of like the people who went together to make like this big ass, like what's the best vertical jump programs in the world. I was ranked 3rd. And they even said in like the subtitles explaining my program that I have the best programming in the world that they've ever seen. They said the only thing that made me 3rd was that like my video demonstrations weren't like as good as others or some shit like that. I don't remember. So, yeah. People have gotten some good gains, and I just have good results. So you just go on my Instagram. I have like 500 testimonials on there on Just Jump alone. People dunking, just improving vert by like 10 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, whatever it is. Whatever you need, you're probably going to get it. Also improves your speed. You really only need one strength exercise in your programs like you say in your videos. I wouldn't say that I say like, I'm talking about it. When I say that, it's like obviously a hook, right, for social media. So you can't take it too literally, but it's also like the perspective I was going at is like, if you only had time to do one strength exercise, what would it be? Right? If you want to do as little work as possible, you don't have time to train, you just want best bang for buck, it's the best bang for buck exercise. So you can get the most gains from only doing that exercise, which is the single leg strength exercise. But in my programs, I'm doing 2 to 3 strength exercises in all my lower body days. Right? Sometimes 4, but usually 2 to 3. They're going to be compound lifts, obviously. Chukon, not going to lie, Justin's the best coach on social media I've seen so far. If you want to stick with someone for improvements, I'd stick with him. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like, I definitely think I'm like top 5 in terms of like the people on social media. Like I don't have an ego enough to say I'm number one. Like clearly I'm grinding to be number one and like be a good figure. I think there's like weaknesses I have as a coach, which like one would be explaining myself. I don't think I'm the best explainer. I don't think I'm a really good storyteller. I think those are really important for conveying your message to people, right? And like a part of that is that English wasn't my first language, right? So like it's a little bit hard for me, but I'm still working on it. I'm still improving. And then like I think my programming is the best in the world. Like I think I probably have the best programming in the world. And that's, or at least in terms of social media coaches, I guess, right? The people who coach and do social media at the same time. So, yeah. The best ankle strengthening exercise for sprinting, do you have an idea how long it would take? I guess the best ankle strengthening exercise would be a single leg calf raise and then like extensive jump rope. So like 3 to 5 minutes a day. That's like the best combo. Do you have a video for change direction for soccer? I don't do a lot of sport specific stuff. I just kind of talk about like any sport. At least in my YouTube videos, I talk about kind of like any sport in like general athleticism and speed and vertical jump in any sport. Like, because honestly, like change of direction. I was talking about this earlier in the live, but like sprinting, like sprint speed is the same thing in every sport, right? There is no such thing as you run faster on the track, but there's basketball speed. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as football speed versus track speed. Speed is speed. Vertical jump is vertical jump. Change of direction is change of direction. Right, so if you're trying to improve change direction, you have to improve change direction. Right, I'm sorry, you're trying to improve change direction for soccer, you need to improve change direction. And then for it to transfer over to soccer, you need the footwork, right? The footwork and the movement abilities, which is just practicing moves, practicing movement, stuff like that, right? So like, I would just look at what is the best ways to improve change direction, and then how can I learn the skills of like doing a crossover, like a 1-2 or deceleration, like a punch stop, whatever it's called in soccer, right? What did you say max effort sprints near the end of the workouts, since you would feel the drop off immediately in sprinting? I've been trying to make sprinting workouts. What have you shown? I would never put max effort sprints at the end of the workout. You should just do my free speed workout. Like you always do the most intense stuff at the beginning, the highest potent stuff at the beginning, and then the least important stuff at the end. That's like the most basic way to explain it, right? I would just go check out my free workout. And it also gives you a workout checklist and how to order the workouts and stuff like that, like the exercises. What do you mean by post-chain exercises like glutes? Post-chain exercises like an RDL, a deadlift, a hip thrust, stuff that the post-chain is like the glutes and the hamstrings, the calves. Some people wouldn't call it calves, but either way, like the back side of your body, and anterior is the front side. It's like quads, right? Any upcoming videos you're looking forward to doing or releasing? So these are like the videos I have going on right now. Well, let me actually make sure I don't show anything that's like I shouldn't be shown. Okay. These are videos I have going on right now. You should be able to see my screen, right? Yeah, you can. Okay. So like the main videos I'm going to do next is the only 3 exercises you need to sprint faster, 5 best bodyweight exercises for insane explosiveness, the 3 biggest warm-up mistakes athletes make. I might switch this to the 3 biggest explosiveness mistakes athletes make. I already posted this. I actually need to put this over to published, right? And then do this morning routine. I don't know the title I want to do yet, but it's like a morning routine, like a morning plyometric routine you should do every day or something like that for athletes, right? And then I'm doing those videos, and then also within the week, I'm going to be doing, this is why you're not getting faster, right? And it's going to be like, stop doing this. I don't know a thumbnail for this video yet, but it's how to run faster, stop running. I don't know a thumbnail I want to do yet. And the last video I'm going to be working on recently is probably how to transform your vertical jump in 3 weeks. This is, I don't worry about all the extra like little details in there. Watch this if you're tired of being slow. I really want to make this video too. It's a really cool script I have. And then like I have scripts inside of these thingies. So like you click on them, there's like a fledged out script and stuff. And I have a bunch of video ideas and stuff. So like, I'm pretty decked out, I'm not gonna lie. I have videos set up for years. I have videos set up for months and months and months. I'm never gonna run out of video ideas. Does being really tall affect your change directions? Guys at 6'3", being taller affects everything. Being taller makes everything harder. So like that's why I kind of hate when people are like, you're 6'4", you're 6'5", and you're like a waste of your height. Like it's just bullshit, dude. It's so hard when you're tall. People, it's not a genetic free fucking green card like people think it is. It's really not that easy. It's possible for me to go under 10.3 until I become 21. I'm 18 and run 12 seconds. I mean, you can run 10 seconds, right? Like sub 11. It's just going to take a lot of training. And the age does make a difference. Like, it's going to be hard for you at older age, but it's possible if you stick with it long enough. Best exercise for acceleration for basketball. I just talked about this. The best exercise for acceleration would be resisted sprints and broad jumps. Best exercise for body control and balance for football. I must be tripping. I feel like I guess I'll probably do like single leg, like stability stuff, right? That'll probably be the best thing. I'm running 4.6 as a freshman. Do you think I'll ever be able to get down to 4.3? Yeah, you could definitely get down to 4.3. If it's FAT 4.6, then yeah, you definitely have a chance. When putting your program together, what do you recommend? Mixing plyos and strength, or make a workout based on one thing? No, you should always mix plyos and strength. I was talking about this earlier. Like, you should never do like only strength workouts, only plyometric workouts. It should always be integrated together year round, right? You can have little phases where you might have like a strength day and a plyo day like back to back, but I wouldn't really do that unless you really know what you're doing. Do you know of the Sprint Project? Have you heard? You also know the Sprint Club is kind of like a program you do. Yeah, I mean, my only thing with him is like, he just picked up. I respect him, right? And I've talked to him on the phone before. We've had like good calls. It's just that I guess my only thing is that he just picked up sprinting a year ago, right? And he also just started coaching a year ago, or maybe like a year and a half ago. So that's like my only thing is like he sells like I don't know how expensive it is, but like he sells like full-fledged programs pretty much, and he's like selling programs, but he only's been coaching for like a year, or even training sprinting for like a year. And like that's okay. Like, it's social media. I get it. You have to make money. You have to survive, but that's my only like, not trying to hate, but like my opinion, if that makes sense. Like, saying as little as possible. By the way, your thumbnails look really nice. Thank you. I think they're pretty decent. I have some pretty cool ones. Where can I find your free workouts? There aren't links in the description to them. You should be able to just go straight to, if we went to YouTube, right? If you want to find my free workout, you should just be able to look up Just Jumari. Whoa, Ludwig got sued by Nintendo. I gotta check that out, bro. Someone said Just Jumari. What was it? Diet? Why are they looking at my name in diet? About. Right, so you click about, and there's a link tree. I don't know why it's not clickable, but you could just copy paste it, or you can just search up Just Jumari on Instagram. All right. And you could just click this link tree right here. I tried to post it. Actually, I could low-key just post it. I'm making it so complicated. I could just post it in the comments. Let me just post it real fast. Am I here already? I'm not here. Just Jumui. Oh, it's right here. Frick. Why is this dragging? Okay. Boom. That's my link tree. Lol. Okay. Holy shit. What's your favorite anime? Probably Naruto. I know that's pretty basic. Everyone says that. It was like the first thing I started off with, and it got me through like a really rough time in my life, which a lot of people also say that. I know it's a very generic answer, but like a really weird time of my life in high school for like a whole year. I was just very alone. I lost a lot of friends I thought were close to me, and I just used anime. I used Naruto to kind of get through that. Just kind of like binge the whole entire show in like 6 months, right? 3 months or some shit like that. So, but I'm past it. That was like 4 years ago. But I still love Naruto though. I think it's cool. I obviously like Shippuden. It depends on who you talk to. I think Shippuden was kind of bad looking back at it, but I like Boruto a lot too. I think Boruto's way too overhated. It's the same shit as Naruto. It's just people don't want to like let go of the fact that like Naruto can't be the main character forever, right? And people just want it to be like the old school shit, but you know, I like Boruto though. What do you think about doing short hurdle hops for speed 3 to 4 days out the week? I've been saying this all day. You don't need to be doing plyometrics that much. 1 to 2 to maybe 3 times a week. It doesn't matter if it's intense. You shouldn't be doing it that much. How many hours would I need to work out, and what is the intensity? In the Speed Academy, all our workouts like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe. What do you do in your free time? Making videos don't count. I don't even make videos in my free time like that. So you have one, which is coaching people, right, in person, because I have a gym. I have an in-person location, right? 2 is I play a lot of Smash Bros. And I do it competitively, so I do like, tournaments and shit like that, right? In-person tournaments. 3, I watch like a lot of YouTube. I have a lot of people I like. I'm into a lot of video games, right? Like Nintendo type stuff. I'm not really like Call of Duty guy. I think that shit's like repetitive and just boring. I'm more like a Nintendo type of guy, right? I'm into fighting games, right? Like I like fighting games, all types of fighting games. I have like friends out here and like people like I'm pretty cool with over here in Iowa. And I also have a girlfriend, which I spend a lot of time with her, and we have a cat. So she doesn't live with me. Like we both have separate apartments right now because she's still in college. I'm not in college. So like I'll go over to her place. It's like a 5-minute drive or whatever. Right. So that's like my free time. I don't take a lot of people in person. I will be honest, just because I like to have a life, right? And making a lot of videos and doing all that stuff, it just is hard, right? So I only take like 3 to 5 people in person at a time. I don't like taking a lot. Back to my question about water weight. Zay Flowers gained about 13 pounds at NFL Combine. Yeah, he still ran 4.4 yard. It definitely wasn't 13 pounds of muscle or fat, so it had to be water weight. I mean, your body weight can fluctuate from 15 to, like 10 to 15 pounds a day, every single day, and it will if you drink water. So it's just water weight. It's not anything you need to think about. What age to start training with weights? Probably like 13 to 14. If you do it the right way, though. But I can see people starting at like 16 too, and it wouldn't be a bad thing, right? Do I need to include arm to chest training even though my goal is speed and vertical jump? If you want to, right? Like you could just do a bench press, and that's going to train your arms and your chest, right? Big Pan, what makes your workout program so special? I think like what a lot of other people would say about me or have said about me is just like my programming, like how I actually put together workouts and like progress it throughout the entire year, because it's not the same workout all year round. It's obviously progressed through years and years of periodization. I think most people say I have like probably the best like programming and periodization in the world, or at least on social media, like in all the coaches who do social media as well. I probably have the best programming in the world. That's one. I think I also don't just train speed. Like it's called a Speed Academy, but there's also vertical jump training, just general athleticism training. There's strength work for upper and lower body. There's ankle training. There's, ankle mobility work, hip mobility work. Like it's the full picture, right? I don't think anyone who's actually good at coaching has done a full year-long program that's fully fleshed out, fully progressed with science behind it, with results behind it, that's affordable. Like who's done that, right? I should be charging like thousands of dollars. Training with me in person, a minimum $400 a month, right? For a whole month of training, right? That's minimum. Depends on the people, right? So like doing that for what, $30 a month, right? And you're pretty much getting the exact same thing, but it's just the only thing different is that I'm not actually next to you doing it with you. Like, dude, it's really nice. And the app is really cool too. So I think it's the best thing to transform your explosiveness and speed. I'm very confident in it. That's the only way I can explain it. Can I do strength training in the morning and speed and power training in the afternoon? I'll try to keep it together, but if you have to, then you can. Or my sprint days, should I still do plyos or no? Sprinting is a plyometric, right? It's the level 4 plyometric. So you should be having plyos with your plyos, right? It's all plyometrics. Bartow is definitely overhated. Yeah, and people who like get into that Bartow hate shit is like people like Daigo Knight, bro. I cannot stand that dude's channel. Like I could tell he talks off script, and he should not be off script. He is not meant to be doing live commentary. That shit is so bad. He just talks over his words. He talks in circles. He says basic ass takes. He knows what everyone likes, and he purposely does like titles and thumbnails to do the opposite. He shows like child SA in his videos, right? Like sexual assault. Like it's just, dude, that dude is crazy, bro. I hate Daigo Knight. I wouldn't say I hate him. I don't hate anybody, but I just really dislike his content. Should I do rope and pogos every day for the Achilles? Yeah, you can do that every day. I've been told my whole what? I should do plyos every day. You're telling me I only need to do maximum of 3 days a week. Now that's crazy. Well, I don't know. Like, you have to understand the difference between plyos, right? There's low intensity plyos, there's high intensity plyos, and like medium level intensity plyos. Low intensity plyos is stuff like jump rope. You can do jump rope every day. That is a plyometric. You can do it every day. But like high intensity plyos, you can't sprint every day and get faster. And honestly, if you don't believe me because you heard other people say it, go try it. Like, I want you to do def jumps and sprint every single day and or dunk every single day for 2 weeks. And just DM me on Instagram and see how that goes. You'll probably be in the stretcher, in the hospital, or not. If in the hospital, in your bed, recovering from a knee injury or Achilles injury. It's impossible, but you can still try it. All right, I'm a dip. Good night. Good night, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Do not do plyos every day. Last time my Achilles tarnished. Yeah, or yeah, your Achilles torn. You're gonna be tarnished. That's a great way to say it. So I want you to try it. If we want to join your real in-life classes, is there any requirement or how could we join your program? In-person training, we just do a free workout for the first workout so I can see if you're a fit for me, because I don't like just taking in anybody. I'm in Iowa, so if you're in Iowa in the Ames area, you can come over. Come over to my location, come do some work. Or if you just want to hop on the Speed Academy, if you're not in Iowa, then hop on the Speed Academy. It should be affordable for most people, and it's everything you would probably get in person, just online, right? You also get like a Discord where I respond to questions and stuff like that and help out with like technique and things like that. If I'm at a point where I can squat 1 rep max, 1.75% of my body weight in deadlift and deep squat, should I just be doing very velocity based stuff for 10 sets of 3? You could do stuff like that. You don't have to like completely skip strength work. It should just be a minimal. Maybe once a week you do like 2 to 3 sets of some, actual strength work. And then you're doing a lot more plyos, right? Or you could just do high velocity stuff, 4 sets of 4, half squats, speed velocity squats, high pulls, Olympic power clean, stuff like that, right? Have you ever came across Stefan Devier? I don't know how to say his name on social media. I haven't heard of him, I'm not gonna lie. I have a time of 13.49 and 19 years old. My 40-year time is 5.1, but it's slowed down a lot. Why is that? Can I send you a video? I was thinking about doing the Speed Academy so I can get faster. Yeah, DM me on Instagram. What treatment should I do for approximately high hamstring? Bro, that one is a motherfucker. You can, once you're good to train, I would start off with like hamstring isometrics, yielding ones, like the straight leg ones. Those are probably the best things you could do. And then if you want like high proximal hamstring, you should, I think it's turning your toes in or turning your heels out, still pushing through the heels would probably be like the best thing. Holding dumbbells 10 to 20% of your body weight, or maybe 5 to 10 pounds on both sides, extensive and intensive plyometrics. Just, what do you mean by holding dumbbells? Like while doing like jump rope or something? What's your thoughts on weighted calf raises? They're okay. Oh, no, I believe you. I've just been lied to my whole life. I wouldn't say lied to. I think it's just a lack of knowledge, right? Like a lot of coaches think they know what they're talking about, but all they've done is Google work, and they actually don't have results, right? I think that's all it is. Oh, I'm tripping. I had stream, what's it called? Like Streamlabs showed up this whole time. My bad. I think a lot of coaches just talk like they're sure, but they don't actually have results, or they don't actually speak to people who really do this shit for a living, right? That's all it is. Like your high school coach, he's a teacher. He's not a coach, right? He Googled how to be a coach. He might have one random certification for like $100. Doesn't make him an actual like trainer that actually gets results. He's just a high school coach. They probably hired him for free. Right? They probably needed him to join. That's all. It doesn't mean he's lying to you. It just means like lack of knowledge, What do you think about the Goda walk? I've never seen it. How much do you implement? How much can we improve by implementing your program for 2 to 3 with good dedication? Man, you'd be a dirty guy. If you got 2 to 3 years, bro, you're going to be a nasty guy. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what sport or like specific stuff you're trying to improve, but you'll be a disgusting guy if you can actually stick with it for 2 to 3 years. Should I weight train barefooted? You could if you're trying to improve like mobility or like foot function. Why does my knee won't power up when sprinting? You're not producing enough force down into the ground. If you were in high school strength and conditioning coach, how would you go about it? It depends on the sport. Personally, I'll never be a high school strength and conditioning coach because I make too much money through personal training in person and online. It would legitimately, there's not a single high school in the world that could pay me enough money where I would make more money doing that than what I'm doing right now. And same with college. There's probably not a single Division I college that I would make more money going like being a Division I coach, right? So personally, I would never do it, right? But it depends on the sport. On like how would I go about the training. Like I don't really know what that means. Like how would I go about it? Yes, Coach Justin, because 5 to 10 minutes, you don't really need to add weight at all. You just need to add more time. And then once you get to like 5+ minutes and you're even doing like 10 minutes in total, like you probably don't need to do more than that. Did you check out the database by Pure Sweat? I like Pure Sweat. I like everything he does, I think is good, right? How important is strong glutes for sprinting? Probably one of the most important muscles for football. Oh, for football? I mean, that even gets more complicated because there's so many different positions, but I think the biggest thing I would teach my athletes is we're going to compete often. We're going to lift and improve strength. We're going to do it the right way. I think I see way too many high school football coaches doing ridiculous amounts of weight when they know half the athletes can't even lift to a proper form. We're going to be okay with doing a lot of high velocity stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of plyometrics outside of just 1v1 football. Whether it's extensive or intensive, right? We're going to be doing a lot of recovery-based stuff like isometrics because they're doing so much intensive stuff on the field. And we're just going to like get out on the field a lot. Like I feel like we're in the weight room too much as football people, and we're just like, we need to put on muscle. We need to put on size. That's for the off season. Like once you're in season, like we're going to be on the field, bro. We're going to be doing a lot of plyos, a lot of recovery, isometrics, body weight stuff, right? Movement-based stuff. So it also depends on like, there's so many positions. It's hard for me just to give like a blatant answer, right? 102 meter sprinter. I don't know what that means. What alternatives are there for any resist sprints? You got hill sprints, parachute sprints, which I don't really like that much, but it's not terrible. Banded sprints, like someone holding a band on your hip. Hill sprints is just like any type of like vertical hill. It doesn't need to be like a crazy big hill, just like some type of incline, right? Or you could do like regular sprints and pair them with broad jumps. So increase rare force development. Yeah. How can we buy your online program? Just click Just Amari on my Instagram, like search up Just Amari and click on the link tree and you just hop on it. Or search up Just Amari, just search up the like the Speed Academy or something like that, right? You can find it like on any of my platforms. Here before you blow up on YouTube. Yeah. I think I have some good plans for YouTube right now. I think the only thing holding me back is like I need an editor. I hate editing for YouTube videos. But like every editor, it's kind of ridiculous. People charge so much for editing. Well, it's so crazy. And I just don't think editors should be charging as much as they do. Like a YouTube editor, I'll ask like, hey, can you do the 6-minute video for me? Can you cut up this 6-minute video for me? And they're like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, okay, how much? $240. Dude, I can do this in 30 minutes. What are you on? I just don't want to. $240? Oh yeah, if it's 10 minutes, it's 300 plus. I mean, and you think I'm talking about one situation? I'm telling you, like 5+ editors have done this shit to me. Where they're like, yeah, I'll charge. Yeah. Oh yeah, $150 for a 6-minute video, dude. Am I tripping? Like, no fucking way, dude. There's just no fucking way. There's like, it's just, and I'm not a cheap person. Like, I'm willing to spend money and invest in myself. I buy courses that are like 500 plus all the time. But it's just one thing about editors, bro. Just learn how to edit yourself. But I just don't like editing. But I think once I start editing more often, I just like get used to the flow. I'll do more YouTube videos. Best rep range for speed squats, like 30 or 50%. Probably like 4 sets of 4. 4 sets of 6, 3 sets of 4, 3 sets of 6, stuff like that. Can you give me a good isometric exercise for speed and explosiveness? The 90-degree lunge. Do you think a KOT has some efficiency? Wait, what? Do you think knees over toe has some more when it comes to the tendon development after overuse rather than increasing athleticism? I think knees over toes is okay for elderly, like people who aren't athletes. They're just like, what's the word I'm looking for? People who don't move often, like they just sit down all day. Sedentary people or non-sedentary, whatever the fuck it is, right? I think for like sedentary, non-sedentary people who just don't do anything, and like KOT stuff is not that bad. But I think for athletes, I just don't think there's any use for it. What do you mean pair regular sprints with broad jumps? Like if you can't do any version of resisted sprints, banded, hill sprints, slight incline, whatever it is, then just do regular sprints and make sure you do broad jumps after you finish your sprints. Not like with 30-second rest. Like do your set of sprints, 120 meters worth of volume, rest in between those sets, and then rest, and then do broad jumps as like a different exercise. What is the difference between a world-class athlete and other good athletes? In my opinion, it's mentality. Like the best athletes I've ever worked with, they legitimately don't care about genetic. Like they don't even. The best athletes I've worked with, like for example, like my fastest guy, 10.36, right? Like his brain is in a different sphere of like limits. He doesn't value limits. He doesn't even believe in limits. He doesn't believe in genetics. He doesn't believe in failure. He doesn't even think those concepts exist, right? My 10.5 guys, my 10.7 guys, they legitimately don't even believe that limits exist. They don't think genetics are a thing. You can try to show them research. They do not care. Like it doesn't even come. They can't even what is the word I'm looking for? They can't even process, or they can't process the idea of genetics, of limits, of failure, of training less than perfect, of anything that you would think of a weak mentality, lack of confidence. They do not have any of this, right? They're doing the same shit you guys are doing, but 90% of the time they believe in themselves 100% of the time more. That's like all it is. It's like, it's so crazy when you talk to these people, the level of positivity they have, how much they believe in themselves, how much they don't give a fuck about limits or genetics. They legitimately say, I have this goal and it's going to happen. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts. And it's not them just saying it and it sounds cute and everyone says that shit. They legitimately do not believe that they're going to fail. And I think even when people think they're going to succeed no matter what, they still have that 10% that's holding them back, right? That, but my genetics, but I'm just a little bit too short. But. There's always that but. But these like world-class athletes, they just don't have buts. Nothing will stop them. I think that's the biggest difference. Is your top end speed workout on YouTube from a while ago still good? Yeah, it's really good. I know which one you're talking about. It's still pretty good. It's from Just Sprint. And I still think Just Sprint's a great program, even though I made it like a year ago. Do they have better diet or training or facilities? It's not facilities. Equipment does not matter. There's guys who became world-class athletes with zero equipment, right? A little bit of it's training, right? Like, obviously, if you work with me from the age of 10 to 20 to 18, right? Like, if you work with me for 5 years, you're going to become a world-class athlete, right? Compared to some random high school coach who just Googled a sprint workout, right? Like, if you work with me, you're going to become a world-class athlete. But also, your mindset would also get you there. Like, if you competed from the age of 6 to the age of 18, you're probably gonna be a world-class athlete. A lot of people do not compete from a young age and continue to compete with the better people and analyze and improve on that. Like, man, I can go into this topic all day. I have a bunch of videos on mentality. It's not just confidence and like anxiety and shit like that. It's like, it's so important, mentality, in terms of improving athleticism, but people just don't value it enough. There's so much to go into that shit though. It's not facilities or genetics or fucking diet or anything like that. Can I drink milk as an electrolyte during a basketball game? It depends on the person. I wouldn't suggest it, but you could try. Oh, my voice is starting to give out on me. I'm going to try to finish up these questions probably. Can you look up biosincerity, biomechanics, and give your thoughts on it? I've already read the book. It's pretty good. Gas potatoes need KOT. I wouldn't even say they need KOT. I'm just saying it wouldn't be that bad. What's a 9-degree lunge? It's just like thighs parallel lunge. What isometrics help with patella pain? 9-degree lunge, knee over toe. 9-degree lunge helps with patella pain a lot. Yo, bro, appreciate you for the advice you did in the last few years. Ever since I started focusing on sprinting, it helped me as a long distance runner, going from 13 to 11.1. God damn, dude. Is that FAT? That's fucking insane. And 40.40 to 4.1 in a mile? My dude, you need to DM me on Instagram. You are literally fucking disgusting. DM me on Instagram and tell me you sent me this message, this specific message, or just copy paste a message. We need to talk, bro. Oh, holy shit. How come you speak a lot on 3-minute lunge hold? Is there a specific benefit to holding body weight for long periods of time? I can just show you. I don't even feel like explaining it. Extreme isometrics. Oh, I need a shifty. Can you see? Okay. Extreme isometrics. Let's just do Joel Smith. I didn't even spell this right. I just don't care. So, extreme isometrics. Let's just look up a bullet point because I've explained it so many times. Let's hear somebody else explain it. Oh, I need to start doing this more often. Dead hang extreme iso pull-ups. I need to do that way more often, bro. Come on, can you give me a bullet point? The effects, right? From extreme, this is from an Olympic coach, right? One of the best coaches in the world. Increase work capacity. Improve nervous system function. Increase sleep, increase in REM sleep, which is the most important part of sleeping, right? If you sleep a lot, but you always feel like you're tired, it's because of REM sleep. Consistency in stimulus during the challenge of the workout or during sleep. So improves like intensity. Enhance body function. This also means reduce compensation. This is what he's talking about, right? So that's just like one random reason why extreme isos are good. Stack is also a pretty good page. All right, why do they say extreme isos are good, right? Reduces injury rate, improve tendon properties. That's facts. Helps to cultivate maximal intention through maximal simple movement when done correctly. That's a fact. Don't interfere with any sport-specific movement patterns like traditional strength exercises can. That's a fact. Improve movement efficiency by reducing muscle compensation patterns. That's a fact. Improves muscle tendon energy storage capacity. So, your question on why I talk about the isometric lunge so much, there you go. Thanks for answering all my questions. I've been watching you for a few months. Good night. Good luck on your journey. Looking forward to any new videos from you. Thank you so much, bro. Have a good night. I appreciate you. Thanks for answering my questions too, bro. No, I appreciate you. I am buying your program. Love. Does it have a professional diet or other things? I technically can't give like actual diets because I'm not a nutritionist, so that's illegal. But I give like nutrition advice, yes. And I also give like recovery advice and like a bunch of guides in there. There's like 20 different bonus guides that teach everything about athleticism and recovery and building muscle and everything. You're the third person I've ever heard talk about the squatty runs. You definitely know your stuff. Squatty runs are important. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for the gems, coach Justin. We really appreciate it. No, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Hello. When I started as a junior in high school, I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm about to finish up here. When I started as a junior in high school, I had hella weak hips and underdeveloped in the speed side. I saw your video talking about doing flies and isometrics helped a lot on foundation. Yes, I appreciate that. Isometrics are a really good foundation for athleticism. Especially like the hip side, like if you had weak glutes and like hip flexors, right? Like that's going to teach you how to actually fire your glutes correctly, which is like foundational, right? What advice do you have for athletes that are insecure about their training? I've always felt like I haven't trained enough. So I've compensated by training more, but I realized I'm overtraining. Just follow a good program by a good coach. Like if you truly trust me, follow my free workout or program. Or you truly trust somebody like Nathaniel Morton or whatever, like a good coach, just follow them and just trust the process. And then if you're doing good enough exercises, like you're picking the right exercises and doing the right intent, it's impossible for you to just keep training. You won't be able to do more. Your body will yell at you if you try to do more. You will know that you're doing too much. Like if you're doing max effort sprints and you're truly going max intent, you literally can't keep going. Like you're going to have a point where you're like, I am just getting slower. And it's just that simple. Or my joints are going through hell. If you're doing compound lifts, you legitimately can't just keep doing more sets. But you're doing a bunch of fucking isolations, then yeah, you might be training for 2 hours and be like, I feel fine. It's not going to work if you're doing the right stuff, right? Now, I'm finishing workouts very quick at high rest. I never felt like that worked enough. Yeah, and just you have to also understand that recovery is where you improve, right? So training, you don't improve. You actually get worse from training. You get fatigued. That's normal. That's what's supposed to happen. You're stressing the body so it can recover and be stronger, right? In every aspect, even sprinting, you're stressing your body to slow down. That way, the next day you get better. So recovery is where you improve. Thanks for answering all the questions. Have a good night. No, you have a good night, bro. What is velocity and how do you train it? That is a very broad question. I'm sorry. Nordics 3 times a week too much. Nordics aren't even really that crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe once a week at most, 1 to 2 times a week. Definitely not 3 though. What do you think about speed capacity workouts, like doing speed with slightly less rest and intensifying later on? Yeah, that's a good progression. Like if someone's rehabbing, I'll do that, but I wouldn't do that for someone who's like going for max performance. But definitely like early phases, you could do that for like 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop there because I'm starting to lose my voice, and it's 12:30, at least in my time. So, we are going to take that ass to bed. But first, we have to play the right song. Okay. .4 and running a 4-minute mile is crazy. All right, I have a quote for you guys. All right. Nothing's going to change if nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Good night, everybody. I love all y'all. Appreciate you guys. And remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Think about what I just said right there. Really think about it. It's deeper than you think. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Go grind. Go have a good one. I appreciate all you guys. Yes, Theo Vaughn. Yes, I talked about that on my Instagrams. Bye, Theo.